Hi everyone, how's it going? And a happy 4th of July. And of course, we're back to Long Halloween. And as you can tell, yes, still non-edited because once again I decided to take a little break from looking for new, editing software because I have a puppy to take care of. Though, again, I'll be back on it eventually. As for this video, warning spoilers, and let's get started. So, it's funny enough that the last story actually had the holiday killing happen pretty early. This one even beats it to it by actually being the first thing that happens. Issue 10 opens with a murder. Though interesting enough that the victim is not linked to either Falcone or Maroni. In fact, this victim is not linked to any mob group. It is simply a coroner. Now, while this was going on, Bruce is having a bit of a romantic moment with Selina, who asks him why he's still in Gotham. Now, of course, we know why he's sticking around, because he made a promise to his parents, but Bruce has to be a little bit more vague about it, because of course he can't let her know. Save that for Hush. And they have a little moment together, which is pretty sweet. And while that's going on, we see Gilda and Barbara Gordon, Jim's wife, not his daughter slash niece, which, man, that is still super complicated to explain. But yeah, they talk about their husbands and the lives that they live now, and Gilda wondering if she'll ever get her Harvey back, since she feels like her husband had become more distant as this investigation has been going on. And while that's been going on, we have Maroni, who is under police custody, talking to Falcone's daughter, and we find out that those two were in a relationship and possibly still are. It's very interesting with that. In fact, this whole issue is more romantic than I have to say the Valentine's Day issue was. In fact, they even reference a few things regarding Valentine's Day. So, yeah, I guess this was like Loeb essentially like making up for the lack of romance that he felt like that it felt the Valentine's Day issue had. But whatever. While that's going on, Batman is talking to Harvey Dent, and Harvey pretty much apologizes about making the mistake for going after Wayne. And Harvey vowing that he doesn't want to make the same mistake twice and that he wants to do better, which is very ironic with what's going to happen later. Jim ends up showing up and talks about the murder, and while they are investigating the murder, Batman brings up the fact that the holiday killer was able to get very up and close with this guy from what they've learned, and given the idea that this victim knew the holiday killer, whoever he or she was, they seem to know them. Either that they trust them or that they were very shocked to see them. So that could lead to something very interesting later. And as they investigate, they notice that fireworks are going on, which is funny because the fireworks already, showed up. And we find out that the ones who were setting those fireworks up were the Scarecrow and Mad Hatter, who are once again doing their, quote thing, which again, I get why Mad Hatter does it, but Scarecrow, just why? They're doing their little robbery for Falcone. Batman and Catwoman stop them, pretty easily, actually. And while it's going on, Batman, reminds us that, Scarecrow kind of made him go through some shit during the Mother's Day issue. So this is a lot of payback. And after that's over, Catwoman kind of offers the same thing that she was offering Bruce of taking him somewhere else, showing him interesting places. But Batman, saying no. Saying that he has his independence. And also superheroes don't do that. God, man, that's gonna be that meme's gonna last for a long time. But whatever. Point is, that is where the issue ends, and it's a really good issue. Again, this was weirdly more romantic than the other issues, but I think that romance was handled pretty well, and I think this was probably the most interesting stuff when it comes to Holiday Killer, because again, in this one leaves very crucial evidence of who the killer might be, since this victim, as I mentioned, is a civilian, not linked to the mob in any way. So, kind of makes you wonder why the holiday killer is going after a civilian. And probably like the and also, unlike the other civilians that the Holiday Killer killed on Valentine's Day, again, we go back to that. This was the actual target, while the civilians that the Holiday Killer killed on Valentine's Day were just, casualties from his real target. So, yeah. The artwork is, once again, pretty good. Some interesting use in shadows, and yeah, again, when it comes to the villains in this story, Mad Hatter and Scarecrow are just kind of there. They don't really have any really big, interesting moments, unlike the other villains that show up in this story. Like, they're just kind of lackeys working for Falcone, who, interesting enough, is not in this story at all, along with, his sister Carla. His daughter is involved, which is interesting. And again, with her relationship with Maroni, it does open the possibilities of who the Holiday Killer might be, or at least a little bit more of her character. So, yeah, that was interesting to know more about Sophia there. Again, this was a pretty solid issue, and yeah, I recommend checking this out. Once again, happy 4th of July, and I'll see you later.